大家好，阿弥陀佛. Good afternoon, everybody, and good evening. My name is Heng Sure. Today is Monday, April 1st here in Australia, April Fool's Day. It is the last day of March. It is Easter back in North America. Welcome to our Sutra lecture today. 今天是福生节，福生日，在北美洲。在这里 Australia 是4月初一，今天 April Fool's Day， 欢迎各位参加我们华严经十迴向品讲座。Let's see, Elaine is going to request Dharma all the way from Texas, and so I'm going to ring the bell 3 times and invite everybody to join me in making 3 half bows if you'd like to. And then we will ask Elaine to request Dharma. OK， 那么各位愿意跟我一起行3问讯礼来。1问讯，2问讯，3问讯。All right, Elaine, if you would like to request Dharma, please go ahead and do it now.
恭敬大德圣听，为此法会集一切众生，请转妙法轮，教导我们如何了生脱死，离苦得乐，速证无生。Will the Sangha with great virtue, our compassion, for the sake of this assembly and all living beings, please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach us how to leave suffering and attain bliss and end birth and death, and quickly realize non-birth.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Homage to the blessed, noble, and perfectly enlightened one.
Namo sadanto suchedoye alahadi samya samputoshye.
Namo sadanto suchedoye alahadi samya samputoshye.
无上甚深微妙法，百千万劫难遭遇。我今见闻得受持，愿解如来真实义。Supreme and wondrous Dharma, subtle and profound, rarely is encountered even in billions of eons. Now we see and hear it and accept it reverently. May we truly understand the Buddha's actual meaning. All right, Elaine, thank you for the Dharma request. Be happy to accept and plunge into our text again today. Let us first invoke spiritual presence with the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, the Avatamsaka Assembly. 感恩 Elaine 在清法，我们继续欢迎华严海会佛菩萨、天龙八部护法三神。莅临道场，祝福各位。南无大放光佛华严经，华严海会佛菩萨。南无大放光佛华严经，华严海会佛菩萨。南无大 All right, there we are. Furthermore, we want to see here. We are going to request, here we are, Pomo. Here we are. The Pomo people practice spiritual connections to the earth and to all creation here in Mendocino County, that we call Mendocino County, called Yokeo, Deep Valley, on their ancestral land for tens of thousands of years. We acknowledge them today as traditional custodians, original storytellers of these lands. We offer our respects to their elders, past, present, and emerging, and to all First Nations people whose sovereignty was never ceded. 就说我们恭敬地承认 Pomo 人在我们寺院所在地的传统叙事者和守护人。我们向过去、现在和未来的长者们致敬，并且向所有从来没有放弃主权的第一民族的原住民致敬。All right. Then we want to enjoy the bell song sincerely. The bells sound wide, resounds throughout 100 million worlds. The Buddha's law is heard and spread all throughout the triple world. The wondrous sounds that everywhere fill the Dharma realm with peace. May those who hear it gain the strength to follow in faith the Buddha's path. 众生传3000界内，佛法扬万亿国中，共劝其法界和平，利益报他诺厚德。Yes, indeed. All right, so happy Easter, those of you who celebrate. Today, we are here with our co-host in Heng Sure is in Taiwan no longer, or soon to be back in America. Our co-host Elaine, the Dharma requester. Heng Sure, if you pop in where you live, I'll do the same. And that way I'll know where you are. Let's see, I rename myself. I am in Gold Coast, QLD. There. All right. Let's see here. Elaine is in Texas. Let's see here. We have Dharma sisters in Oroville, Washington, by golly. Right up there in the Pacific Northwest. Okay, Yebing Hong is here. Wonderful, glad you're here. Alan is in Ukiah. Barbara's here, listening in. Binxin is in Shanghai. Celeste in Hong Kong. Lin Changqing's in Newbury Park. Yi Zhonghee is in LA. Connie's in Sunnyvale. Daisy's in Calgary. Daniel's in Portland. Okay. Donna's in San Jose. Edwin's in Malaysia. Gwen is in Dublin, Ohio. Yes. Guohong's in Alameda. Let's see here. Ivy is in Taipei. Jane's in Ukiah today. Excuse me. Sneeze. Ukiah today. Jin Rocher is with us. Excellent. Jin Yansher is also here. Pleased that you're here. The Feng family is here from Hangzhou. Leonie's here from Ukiah. Linda from San Jose. Ling Feng, wow, all Dharma Master Hung Lai's poetry group has migrated over to the 10 Transferences. Terrific. Liz is here from New York City. Mr. Lu from Liaoning. Let's see here. Lu Shenshang 那个 chat box 里边都有 link. Mr. Lu asked, where can you find recordings of Master Empty Cloud's picture biography? The answer is it's on YouTube. if you go today to the, see, I can show you where that is. Let's see. 等一下，我们认识人完了之后，我们才回去讲那个哈。Okay, Maya's here. Another Maya from San Jose, one in San Francisco, one in San Jose. Michelle is here from Calgary. Min Lee is from Bothell, Washington. Wan Long is from Mesa, Arizona. Good. Ron is from San Jose. Steve's in LA. Excellent. Sylvia is in Seattle. Tina's in Oklahoma. Let's see here. Tam's in Oakland. Viet DRBA is in California. Good, good, good. Willie's in Virginia. Yihuan is in Ukiah. Mr. Ding is in Vancouver. Ding Yuqing, okay. Yvonne's in Malaysia. Jen is in Santa Barbara. 然后呢，我们在这边，地球的这边，邱福芬 is in Taipei. Okay, Mr. Ni is in Shanghai. Okay, another Ni Jia is in Heilongjiang, Harbin. 欢迎。Let's see here, Mr. Liu 在辽宁。Miss Liu is in Anhui, Hefei, Anhui. Ye Chunhua 在北京。Liu Yalin's in Jilin. Okay, Mr. Zhou's in Heilongjiang. 还有唐山，河北唐山、辽宁、深圳、包头、内蒙古、大连、湖南。OK， 辽宁，东北人最多，肯定是这样子的。台湾云林，这是廖俊杰，欢迎。OK， 就说九江蓝海，中国黑龙江、安徽苏州、陕西宝鸡、福建泉州、吉林、安徽、河北张家口、中国黑龙江、北京唐山，河北唐山的人也不少啊。中国河南许昌 ，OK， 深圳、西雅图、北京、吉隆坡、上海、黑龙江、台北、凤山 ，OK， 不，我说错了黑龙江然后呢海宁黑龙江，黑龙江的人大约1/4还有Harbin黑龙江 ，OK， 欢迎各位100多人。So welcome everybody. Clearly, Black Dragon River in Manchuria wins the popularity contest. More folks. Now, is that any accident that our teacher is also from there? Probably not. Master Hua's virtue is what brings us all here, in fact. Okay, just a moment ago in the chat box, Mr. Lu asked me about where are the lectures from Master Empty Cloud's picture biography available, and my answer to him was they're available on YouTube, but it's not everyone who can get YouTube. It doesn't necessarily show up in China, and so I thought to share 这里是 YouTube 然后你找到 Dharma Realm Live 然后呢你看到这个 Picture Biography 就在这里如果各位呢要多看那个手续的虚云老和尚画传的讲座那个还有一个是就说手续的在 YouTube 可能全部是英文吧你是不是必须要参加那个直播恐怕是恐怕我们在这里必须要听那个直播才能听到中文我们录在 YouTube 完全是英文恐怕I think I'm afraid the YouTube lectures are entirely English. If you listen to the live broadcast, the live stream, you can get Chinese. Not the most popular of lectures, 39 views, but then again, most people are listening on Zoom. Anyway, on Zoom we have 100 plus. OK， 就是说抱歉哈，那个能听到最好你能听到那个直播是用 Zoom， 因为 Zoom 到了国内没问题了啊。那个时候越南话、中国话、英文都可以听到啊，是不是？那 Zoom 那个不知道一环或者 Alan 或者谁OK， 那就是办法。对，你们现在看到这个 chat room、chat box 哈，你把 email 送给电信给玉成、菲菲 Gmail， 他们都会把你的你可以登记了。那个时候，那个什么时候是昨天星期六？不，我们这里星期天，你们中国的时候是星期天上午10点半，星期天上午10点半，台湾也是，香港也是，你都可以听到这个直播中文的翻译啊，那个是1个小时60分钟每个礼拜啊，我非常非常喜欢研究这个。虚脑和尚华传这个故事太感动了。So what we're saying is folks are welcome to join in on the Master Empty Cloud biography. What you need to do is go to the chat box right now and 对，星期六上午10时半。星期六哦，对的，我说昨天我说错了。Good. Celeste is always catching my errors here. 不是昨天，是前天。我说昨天是前天，昨天是华严经这个入法界品，前天星期六上午10点半是那个虚脑和尚华传。Okay, there we go. 如果 and if people want to listen in North America, it's easy. It's Friday evening 7:30. Friday evening 7:30. Okay, and if you would like to listen but you're not currently listening, please send an email to our fearless coordinator, Chen Yu. She will happily add you to the registration. All right. 好的. Okay, welcome everybody. Let us tune in to our text. Here, oh, not that one. Put that one away for later. We want this one. Here it is. We are right here. This is the 10 Transferences chapter of the Avatamsaka Sutra. How cool is that? We're into the 7th transference. We are at midstream. The Bodhisattva is diligently cultivating this practice of sending out good wishes to the benefit of all living beings. That's his goal, and he or she expands the measure of their mind in order to let that transference touch everybody. Okay, 法师，请问你每个周都有几节课？天其实问说每个礼拜都讲了几次法，讲经3次。开课有另外2次不过那个课程是翻译的，所以那个是英文为主。讲经都讲华严经讲2次，讲那个虚脑和尚华传1次，都有义工发心翻译。So the question is, how many sutra lectures do I give a week? 2 lectures on sutras, 1 lecture on Master Shuyan's picture biography, and then 2 different kinds of classes that require pretty much English for, let's see here, you and co-host could share the chat message to, only you and co-host could share the chat message to public. I see. Okay, that's good. I see. Only I and co-host can share the chat message. Oh, I didn't realize that. Okay, so can everybody see these links that we're posting or not? I hope so. Uh-huh. All right. So the answer is yes. 可以看到吗？我们登的这个 chat box 你们都可以看得到啊？ Okay. 好的。No, Prajna says cannot see them. All right. So in that case, here's what we're going to do. Here is the email. If people would like to go. Gotta look quickly, because it's going away after this. If you would like to be included on the mailing list of the Master Empty Cloud biography lectures, send an email to Chen Yu, and she will happily register you. And then if you're in this part of the world, Saturday mornings. If you're in Australia, it's 12:30. If you're in California, it's Friday night 7:30. 如果各位呢想没办法看那个虚拿和尚画传，也 YouTube 变成问题了，你们就把电信送给玉成 Fifi @gmail， 他都会把你的地址，就你的电脑的地址上在我们的这个名单，就这样子都可以有 Zoom。他就把你的 email 每个礼拜提前给你送 email， 有 YouTube link， 那非常方便了，因为 YouTube 都可以可以登问题啊，可以听到问题了，想听中文想听越南文都可以 OK， 那个很方便很方便 OK， there we go. Gone. All right. More questions coming in. My goodness. There it is. Now, can everybody see that? 金融师你登那个就可以了。Oh, wonderful. Thank you, thank you. 好的. All right. Today, here's where we begin. This is the Bodhisattva's continuing wishes for every living being. And one of the advantages, before we even say it, before we even speak the first word of the sutra, think about this. The human mind is that way, so that if we have a positive thought that we are putting in our hearts and broadcasting out with a wish to benefit others, that for the duration of that thought, we are not able to be depressed. We're not able to be self-defeating, to beat ourselves up. We're not able to think ill for as long as that thought is present and released. If in thought after thought, as the Buddhist jargon goes, we can constantly keep these thoughts of well-being sending out for the benefit of others. I'm going to sneeze again, sorry. Then in thought after thought, our minds are engaged in generosity, wholesome thoughts, benefiting others. What happens when we do that is the resonance, the vibrations of the goodness of those thoughts just permeate the mind. And as every single time we fail to put negativity, harsh, judgmental, frightened, anxious thoughts in the mind, that's one time that the waters of the mind are free of the poison, the stain, the ink, the dye of negativity in the water. So it's very pragmatic. It's not magical thinking at all. The more we imbue our mind with goodness, the brighter, the wholesomer, the cleaner, clean, well-lit place of the mind increases. 就说我们还没开始之前， 就各位想到菩萨，他呢在这里就说什么？为令一切众生能以一心治一切心，以一切善根等回向故。What does he say? In order to enable living beings to dedicate each and every good root to the understanding of all minds by means of a single mind, 他每一次就有类似的回向愿，怎么样？我们的人的心就是这样子，把那个心等于什么？等于一个广播电台，好吧？就说我把这个回向愿，我愿意把我的功德回向给众生，为令一切众生能一心治一切心，以一切善根等回向故。这样子，就那么长的时间，他心里没办法自卑，没办法少己，没办法隐隐地向其他人生嗔恨心之类，是不是？还有，因为回向是属于布施，那个布施这种的行为是善，属于善，就把那一个善根顺我们心里有一种就说一种好的香味，一种很香的一种香味，那个摆动 vibration， 嘣嘣嘣嘣嘣嘣，它就顺我们整个的心，还有整个身体，用这种善良的摆动。所以那是一念心，如果念就这样子回向，慢慢的这个心就往光明在转，往善良在转。回向这个法门不属于魔技 magic， 不属于什么奇妙，这是实实在在的就像一个人如果下雪，冬天下雪，你看那个人行道呢不能走，因为下的雪太深了。你怎么样？你把那个 shovel 那个斧头来动那个雪，哇，好重好重，从这边慢慢的一个 shovel 斧头是斧头吗？一个斧头到底了，现在可以走。谁把那个雪动了？你。为什么这个人的心有光明啊，平安无事啊，很吉祥？因为他就做这个功，回向，用善良的念头，用能以一心治一切心，一个善根等回向，慢慢的心里就像佛这样是慈悲。像文殊菩萨这样子有智慧这不是什么灵感这个是实实在在的OK， 脚踏实地，认真去做，为令一切众生。I didn't say that. So I use the analogy of shoveling snow. It's now March, April. People still experiencing snowfall, has snow still coming down. So it's a perfect analogy because I grew up in the Midwest where every winter it was my job and my brother's job to shovel the snow in front of the house. If you grew up in Malaysia or Singapore, Indonesia, probably, or here in Australia, snow is a theory, it's not a reality. So, man, oh man, starting in November, the snow fell. We had to get out there with a snow shovel. And come out in the morning and the snow is 6 inches deep. And if you want to go out and get the newspaper or get the mail or get in the car, if you don't want to get your feet damp with snow, you got to pick up the snow shovel. From this point, boom, 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 to the end. When you're done, you're puffing, you're sweaty, and your face is red, and the walk is clean. Who moved the snow? You did, shovel by shovel. And the snow that you moved is piled up over there. Right. So no magic at all. It's really, really empirically true. It's muscle work. Cleaning out the mind, having a mind full of peace, having a mind of serenity, having a mind of kindness and generosity, a positive, a major scale, dee-dum, dee-da, dee-da-da-da-da, major scale. That's instead of dee-da-na-na-na-na-na. Not like that. It's da-dum. Major scale. Because you use your mind the way bodhisattvas do to transfer. That's how it works. It's really pragmatic, really practical. 好的，为令一切众生常乐积集一切善根，安利众生于净智故。In order to enable living beings to always enjoy accumulating good roots, thereby establishing one another in pure wisdom. They enjoy doing this. They have that flavor. It's so much better than the negative, right? Thereby establishing others in pure wisdom. Let's do it. 他们喜欢这样做，因为尝尝那个品品那个味道，哦，好听，好吃，很香。So here is, right? Let's take a listen. What do we have? We've got trouble in the instrument rack. Okay. Here is the mind before transference. Negative. Ooh, 消极危险，那个就是还没有回向。那现在回向之后，major scale 积极的。不一样了看我们怎么用心 right? From a major scale, a minor scale to a major scale. Depends on how we use it, what kind of notes we play with our mind. All right, you get the point. So, we establish each other in pure wisdom. 为令一切众生得一切智，福德智慧清净身故。In order to enable living beings to attain a pure body of omniscient wisdom, replete with merit, virtue, and wisdom. Where does it come from? It comes from hard work. It comes from what you do with your mind. Nobody else can help you. Do it. You got to do it yourself. "为令一切众生得一切智福德智慧清净身。要得到这个身，怎么做呢？一切智福德智慧清净呢？怎么会呢？看你自己怎么做。师父愿意帮助你，师父愿意就说鼓励你，师父愿意教你怎么做。可是到时候你自己做没有？做了没做？你自己就是那两个耳朵之间，从这个耳朵到这个耳朵中间那个空间怎么做了？可是中国人不说心，我们说想，你思想考虑在哪里？不在这儿，是在这儿，是不是？在心里那么好的，从左边到右边，胸平，你怎么做呢？看那个心是怎么一回事。如果你好好的用佛法来修，就跟着大道去转，那可以了，那就有怎么说？有一切智福德智慧清净的身体没有外在的力量能强迫、能令你这样做，必须要自己做。Okay, the thing about this body, the Chinese is really cool because you go, The first verb is 得, to get. What? Omniscient, blessed, virtuous, wise, pure body. You can wait to the end of the sentence to figure out what's going on. The shen, in English it goes, I want living beings to get a body of pure, omniscient wisdom, replete with merit, virtue, and wisdom. Okay, well, that's a funky translation, but you get the point. It's, I want my body to be like that. I want you to get a body like it. How do you do it? Look at the body you got. How is it going? What do you put in it? How do we use it? What do we do with it? And who ultimately swallows the stuff that goes down your throat? I do. Me. It's my work, my job to do that. And I can't look at anybody else. Your mom can cook good food for you. Your spouse can, prepare the beautiful meal. The doctor can give us medicine tailored to our physique and our situation. Skillful doctors can even give you medicine for the future, for the diseases that are going to develop. But if we don't take it, if we don't swallow it, if we don't chew it up and swallow it, it's, sorry, we didn't do it, ultimately. So, although we talk about the self being an illusory self, and there is no me, there is no self, the truth is, the bodies that we have, our physical bodies, are a unit, and keeping that unit going is up to us. What we do with it is ultimately the test, the measure of how our lives go. And man, oh man, our Shifu was out there encouraging us, scaring us into behaving, and parents are there trying to teach us, and teachers are there trying to give us instruction. In the end, it's what we did ourselves. So that what do they say? 借假修真. We borrow the false body to cultivate the true body, which is what exists beyond our physical body and will still be there when we come around again, waiting for us. So while we got this body, let's use it wisely. Borrow this false body to cultivate something true. Borrow the false body to cultivate the true one. 虽然我们说那个我相我见是虚妄的，不是真的，是结合起来的一个身，四大假合的一个身体了哈，四大假合的身体了。可是呢，必须要用那个假的身体修那个真正的法身慧命。那个医生给我们配的最妙的、最灵的一个药，如果不吃那个药呢，还是不能怪任何人，不能怪谁，不是那个医生的错，就是我们没有吃了啊，所以那个是成人才明白的真理，小孩子不懂。OK， 我们借假修真是真的。Okay, here we go. 为令一切众生善知一切众生善根观察回向成普成就故 in order to enable living beings to skillfully know another's good roots, thereby perfecting their practice of contemplation and dedication. Wow, this is really, really interesting. How is this possible? How can you skillfully know somebody else's good roots? The answer is, I'm listening, it'll be on the quiz. Oh, somebody's, yeah. That's a wild pigeon is giving the answer. Really good. You're correct. The wild pigeon said, I wish I knew. The wild pigeon might have said, with the ability to function with the Buddha's psychic powers, Ta Xin Tong. 还有 also the Buddha's spiritual powers, the 5 eyes, the six spirit penetration, 6 abilities. There's also the Bodhisattva's 10 wisdom powers. With the Bodhisattva's 10 wisdom powers, somebody who's got them working who's got that function can know others' past lives, know what they understand. They know their potentials, the capacities they come with. This is all available to them so that the bodhisattva who's got these powers is able to speak Dharma in a way that connects. This understood, right? It's, wow. The friends I know who are psychotherapists, who make their living benefiting others through psychotherapy, if they had the bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, they're shared. The bodhisattvas and Buddhas' 10 wisdom powers, they would crawl over broken glass to get that ability because they give you a detailed, profound analysis of who this person before you is, where they've come from, what they can understand, their past lives, and you also know the where things like where this particular technique that you could teach them to cultivate will lead them. The ability to know where all paths lead. And thus, not only do you know where they've come from, but you can skillfully, without error, know where something that you prescribe for them will take them, will lead them. Profound. This is the Bodhisattva's 10 wisdom powers. Incredible. Diagnostic and therapeutic abilities that are available to someone who cultivates the Bodhisattva path. When you look at the Avatamsaka chapter called the 10 stages, the 10 grounds, wow. Those 10 wisdom powers are outlined in great detail. 这个回向呢很奇妙，怎么会呢？你怎么会善知一切众生善根？然后观察回向普成就呢，就是菩萨如果他有五言六通，还有菩萨实智力，诸佛如来实智力，你就知道这个众生他怎么来的，他前生是从哪一个六道轮回来的那么他能了解他那个善根是多大多少然后呢，你知道这么多呢，你就会很正确地把佛法讲给他听，他都会接受，然后他会一教奉行。这个是我说我那个读研究院的时候，我的室友是学这个 UC Berkeley 伯克莱大学的心理学博士，他叫 Bob Fisher， 他那个我的 roommate， 他呢那个时候如果知道他修行佛法，他都可以跟诸佛菩萨成就这种10种智慧力量，哎呦，他都就多少钱不怕，他都愿意修成了。因为那个 Freud 那种方法不正确，不准确，可有可无的，差不多，可是不正确，不准。我就说，哎，听到你给我讲你做梦里边的所看到的，我认为可能是这样子，你试一试。所谓 talking cure 讲话治病不见效你就去分析讲话不准。佛菩萨他们知道你前生是做什么法界的身体知道你现在听我这样讲会有什么反应你就知道你喜欢 不同语言的吗？你有语言的能力呢，那我就用不同的语言，或者不用讲话，我就用什么画画可以沟通，跟你沟通，或者呢跟你做朋友，就用善言，用布施，用同事，用利恒摄受你。哦，这个是非常正确，非常准。那众生听到呢，感动了，就一觉风醒。如果我的室友那个时候知道有这些佛法的这个心理分析，他都会大接受。Yeah. So my roommate Bob Fisher, if he had known about the Bodhisattva's 10 wisdom powers in teaching living beings, he still got his PhD, but after years of using Freud, the talking cure, Bob and many other psychotherapists were using hypnosis to access that deeper mind. Freud's talking cure was not all that effective. Kind of frustrating. OK， 还有为令一切众生得一切智，成等正觉，普圆满故。In order to enable living beings to attain omniscient wisdom and to realize complete perfect awakening. Yes, to become Buddhas. He transfers so that beings can become Buddhas. 这个简单了，他就回向呢，就令众生成佛，得一切智，成等正觉，普圆满，就是佛国。我愿意回向，我济诸众生，皆共成佛道。Right? He transfers with the wish to let all living beings, together with me, become Buddhas together. There you go. That's a basic transference. Works just like magic. But not magic. It works like the mind, which is better than magic. 为令一切众生得具足神通智，于一处出性一切诸处皆出性故。In order to enable living beings to be replete with the wisdom of spiritual powers that allows them, while appearing in one place, to also appear in all places. All right. All right. Dharma Masters, I know we have Dharma Masters listening in. Explain this one using experiences that others can share, right? I can't. Honest. This is where we go to the realm of what's called 不可思议, inconceivable. What is it? In the Avatamsaka, there is this thing called the 十宣门, the 10 gateways of mystery, or the 10 mysterious gates. And to say it's religious faith, you believe it's true, don't have to. It is absolutely true that living beings can have psychic powers that allow them to be in one place and appear in all places. It is absolutely fact. This is something that happens when ignorance is transformed, when false thinking and attachments are no longer working, when afflictions are over. This is just evident. It's just so obviously true. However, before that time, when we are still in the mind of duality, still stuck in language and thought, it seems magical or fanciful, or, oh, you have to believe. It's just spirituality, right? The things that people say, it's based on faith. When your eyes are open, this is not faith, this is fact. This is the way the universe works. And interestingly enough, laboratory physics is taking us to a place now where this seems completely the case, that you can be in one place and appear magically in all places. It's just that we don't have the enough language, we haven't found a way to test it to make it interpersonally verifiable, so that anybody who repeats the process can get the same result. Then science has no way to deny it. Until then, we are still looking for common terms of reference so we can share the language that explains how this is possible, right? The Buddhist language that uses it, we say this is 不可思议, it's inconceivable, it's in the realm beyond language and thought. So you say, well, if I can't talk about it, how do I share it? That's the problem. You realize it together with countless numbers of men and women who have done what the Buddha has done, which is 降伏其心, subdue the ordinary mind, and use the ordinary mind to find the Buddha mind. Then it's there. Okay, 这个呢，可以说多少人知道，在一个处，在一处，在一个地方出现一切处，这就说，哎呀，我相信有，我相信会有，你不必相信，你就要得具足神通智，你就会看到，这是实实在在的一个事实了。可是呢，我们一般的众生像我们还有二心，我们还在语言和思想的范围之内呢，看不到，想不到，说不到，说不出。可是呢，我们什么时候降伏其心啊，我们就证得什么不可思议的境界。不可思议不是说不实在，实实在在，这是不能想也不能说，已经超过语言和思想的这个法界，到了这个境界，到了那种佛菩萨的智慧、神通智慧境界里边了，都会看到了。问题是科学没办法试验，科学家现在呢，物理学 （quantum 物理学），他们知道在这个地方所发生的事情，在所有的地方也会有反应。可是呢，要讲、要分享很难，不能。现在还没有这个能力。等一等，有的 UC Berkeley 这个物理学家，他们去练习瑜伽 yoga， 他们练习打坐，他们希望可以跟佛教的代表来知道证得这个不可思议的境界。那个时候知道哦，原来这个佛2500年前所证得的境界，现在的科学在落后，慢慢地赶得上，都可以解释。Now, the exciting thing about this is that there are scientists, particularly at UC Berkeley, we know several, who are challenged by the Buddha's discoveries 2,500 years ago. And instead of doing the sad response, which is deny it, or assign it to mysticism, instead they say, well, could we replicate the Buddha's methods? And through a process of yoga, purification, and meditation, realize these ourselves? They're willing to try. And so we have laboratory physicists learning yoga, learning meditation, because they're fascinated by the Buddha's discoveries in sutras like the Avatamsaka from 2,500 years ago. This conversation is taking place. Mind Life Institute is one place. And so keep your eye on cutting-edge science, as quantum in particular, as it seeks to replicate the Buddha's experience. Okay. 为令一切众生得普庄严智，眼净一切慧 一切众会结眼禁锢, in order to enable living beings to, ready? Attain the wisdom of universal adornment that allows them, while adorning and purifying one assembly, to also adorn and purify all assemblies. All right. Translate that one. Get that out of Buddhist jargon into something that people can understand. Big challenge. Number one, what is the wisdom of universal adornment? Number two, how do you adorn and purify an assembly? Number three, how do you adorn and purify all assemblies? This is Buddhist jargon, and frankly, it's hard. It's hard to, from the point of view of ordinary folks like us, how do we understand what that means? So, the wisdom of universal adornment. The question of adornment is, we've talked about it before, it's central to the Avatamsaka Sutra. It's even in the name,華嚴, Flower Adornment Sutra. Flower Adornment Sutra sounds like decoration. It sounds superficial, like a Christmas wreath on the door, your front door at Christmas, or a matching couplet in spring in Chinese families, Chinese culture. What is that couplet? 对联. That's an adornment. It's just to dignify, to decorate, to beautify the dwelling and indicate. The matching couplet is a really good example because it indicates that inside this family or inside this business, there is a connection with traditional Chinese culture and knowledge. Wen, the culture of Wenhua, right? Literary culture is alive where we live or where we work. That's a really good thing. That brings 5,000 years of Chinese culture alive to all those who pass through the door. That's more than to beautify, isn't it? So this word zhuangyan, if we look at the manlian in a Chinese home, you think, okay, that's in the right direction. It means splendor. It means magnificence. It means dignity. All of those things are in that word zhuangyan. It also means creation, because if you think about the transference verse, we go yan yi ci gong de zhuang yan fo jing du, right? May this merit and virtue create Buddha lands. That's what it means when we transfer. Here's our chapter, 十迴向品, 10 Transferences. I dedicate my merit with the wish that in the future, I can make a world where there's no suffering. There you go. That's a really good transference. Where did the Pure Land of Amitabha come from? From the monk called Fa Zhang transferring merit. 庄严佛净土 doesn't mean I want to have a pretty land when I die. I want to go to somewhere beautiful. So much more than that, isn't it? So, to the wisdom of universal adornment, I want a beautiful universe? Okay, better than an ugly one, but can it mean something more than that? Yes, it does. To adorn and purify an assembly, I want this pretty pure assembly. Because Buddhists like purity? Yeah, they do. They like beauty? Yeah, they do. But they're not opposed to ugly and impure. That's where they work and live. To render them, what? Places where suffering ends. That was the Buddha's project. He didn't want to only die when the time came. So the prince set out and discovered that there was a way to, what? Attain the wisdom of universal ending of suffering that allows them, while making a place where people study the end of suffering, like City of 10,000 Buddhas, but also create that same mutual one and many, many and one to the many, many back to the one. Indra's net phenomenon of this cultivation. So clearly, our language is not here in this one yet. We're not home with this one yet. This is powerful, and it doesn't mean to make universe pretty. It doesn't only mean that. It means to create the wisdom of seeing the salvation, that's a Christian word, the liberation of the universe, of all places, so that while we dignify, make majestic, make sublime one place of study, one assembly, one zhonghui, where people are cultivating and studying, but also all places by reciprocity of connection that the Bodhisattva establishes through the purification of the mind to make all places that dignified, majestic, sublime, Buddhified, connected to the Tao, right? That's the bigger resonance of 庄严. 好的, I haven't translated this. 这个呢，我们怎么懂，怎么了解庄严？普庄严智。我希望一切众生得普庄严智。什么叫普庄严智？这并不是说令它美化。庄严不是外表美丽，很多我们明白 adornment， 那多数呢就说哦，好像美观，就说interior decorator， 你的工作是要到每一个公司啊，某一个公司某一个家里令它美化，不是单单那个了，哈，这个是有多少创造。圆一次功德，庄严佛净土。庄严佛净土怎么庄严呢？成就、创造极乐世界。我愿意把我的功德，将来有一个没有苦的地方。法藏是不是这样做呢？啊，它是极乐世界都是从那个愿来的，它就生生世世这样子回向呢。创造一个极乐世界没有苦的一个地方，菩萨就有这个愿，所以庄严的意思很大的力量眼净一众会，怎么说眼净法会？就是说那个地方是上万佛圣城修行的一个地方，谁愿意到那里去用功，都会改造他们的生命。就以后有菩提心为主，以后有就发菩萨愿，一切都为了令众生离苦的一个愿啊，那就眼净。眼净这是非常力量非常大的一个动词。我愿你眼净一个众会，然后用那个法界观的重力。那个法界观的力量，令一个众会，就像一个众会所有的众会一样眼净。我这个道理呢，我比较主张我们再来研究这个词庄严是什么意思。庄严，我们不要轻视这个庄严哈。就说很多宗教信仰注意一个道理，什么道理呢 ？Creation， 就说怎么创造这个圣经哈，今天是复生节，那个基督教就很重视这个复生节 Easter 哈，因为耶稣呢死了，3天后又生了。就升天了，就在上帝的右手边，就是今天那个 Easter Sunday，全这个 Christian 世界有基督教信徒这个世界很清楚，今天是他们的重要的一个日子了。为什么？因为他们的圣经就说 第一天、第二天、第三天、第四天、第五天、第六天、第七天，上帝创造这个世界，还包括有人、有动物啊，有天和地，有日夜，就创造了。这个故事就是这样成。这个维提经 Vedas 印度教都有创造这个，很注意这个故事。宗教非常重视他们的创造的故事，这个世界人怎么来的？佛教呢有没有？有，都是从心，一切为心造，庄严佛净土。就说佛是为心造的，世界是为心造，怎么造呢？怎么造法呢？要庄严，要严净，庄严严净，那怎么做呢？这个是值得我们研究吧。好，回向，这个回向呢是一个 creation story， 是创造的故事。一切为心造，太重要，太重要。Okay, so this is really, really important, I think, to look at this with a new light, and that is to say, today is Easter Sunday. We really 复活节、复兴节、复生节、复活节。Thank you. 复活节，好的。Okay. The Easter is the celebration. It's a really important day for Christians, where Jesus was crucified, taken down from the cross, put into a cave. 3 days later, his disciples came, and the door of the cave was open, and he was gone. He descended into heaven to be at the right hand of God. And the symbolism of Easter is really profound because it indicates eternal life. There is hope after death, that you can be reborn. That's the story, and it is a sacred day for so many millions of people. The Vedas, sacred texts of the Hindus and Brahmins, talk about creation. The Holy Bible gives us a story of 1 week, first day, second day, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh day. We have sun, moon, earth, seas, humanity, animals, all created by a benevolent God. Okay, powerful. Sacred texts look at creation. Buddhism is not different. Buddhism says what? 一切为心造. Everything is made from the mind. How is that possible? How can a world be made from the mind? I dedicate my merit and virtue to create the Buddha's Pure Land. 愿以此功德庄严佛净土. How do you do that? How do you create a Buddha's Pure Land with your mind? Transference. Dedicate merit. That's how it's done. And man, oh man, it is not less than this. It is right here. Now, how does it happen? That's why we study the Buddha Dharma, isn't it? But I will say for sure, 100%, none of this transference is lost. It doesn't go out and disappear. What do they say? 功不唐捐. They say none of this is in vain, but we have to be intentional about it. That's key. We have to say, I dedicate this merit to benefit living beings. The Ten Transferences chapter is a story of creation. Bodhisattva, by doing this, is creating a world that he wants to share with living beings. That's why he gives away all of the hard work and the gongda, the merit and the virtue and the blessings and what are called shangan, good roots, so that they will grow and living beings will leave suffering and live in a place that they really want to live in. 所以呢，这种创造的故事就是实惠商品。实惠商品是创造的故事。我们佛法就说功不唐捐，就说我们每次 把我们很辛苦修来的功德、福报、善根回向。这不是说什么都没有了，就等于零了，就归于空了，不是，是在那个功德，在他的利益在众生身上，在，所以我们不要轻视，把这个好像哇那个就浪费了，不要了，我不要了，我就回向功德，回向众生就算了，不是，那个都有，可是我们必须要发这个愿。为令一切众生于一佛国普见一切佛国度故 in order to enable living beings to behold from one Buddha land all other Buddha lands. It's that same reciprocity principle. This is what's going on here. This is creation. So 庄严, that verb is very powerful. 庄严那个动词非常重要，很大力量，创造力量在，为令一切众生于一个佛国度，普见一切佛国度故，因为那个法界观，一那个Indra's net 因陀罗网的关系了，一能看到一切，一切归于一，然后一切都好像呼吸气一样，这样子。普为令一切众生依一切庄严具，不可说庄严具，无量庄严具，无尽庄严具，庄严一切诸佛国度，普周边故。Here we go. In order to enable living beings to adorn each and every land of all Buddhas with every article of adornment, with ineffably many articles of adornment, with countless articles of adornment, and inexhaustibly many articles of adornment. What would an article of adornment be? It would be something like incense, banners, lights, lamps, candles, clothing, trees. 庄严 also means adornment. It means beautiful things, but not only pretty things. Bodhisattvas you dedicate as offerings, right? What? They offer lamps, candles, bedding, clothing, vistas, groves, gardens, incense, flowers, food. And through that act of offering, with the mind as the root, that same heart penetrates each and every adornment. 所以因为心为根本，所以无论供养什么样的庄严具，以上所说的那些供养具呢，就一样有创造性，有离苦得乐这种愿。所以这种华严海会佛菩萨都懂这个华严经的道理呢，真的是太微妙不可思议。So the Avatamsaka Sutra's Bodhisattva heart is just truly splendid and wonderful. Okay, we're going to take that yellow away and make it blue, please. There we go. Oops. I gotta do it again. Oh, it's blue and yellow both. All right, we'll come back there next time. Save that. We're going to look more into that principle of adornment because it is fundamental to the creation story of the Buddha Dharma. 以后我们继续研究那个庄严创造这个道理，因为这是我觉得我们以前翻译的经典庄严就是 adornment， 这个是一方面，这完全还没有翻译那个能力那个100%的这个力量。Okay, to be continued. Okay, here we go. We are with our storytelling, the wonderful, incredible story of Master Xuanzang. Okay. 伽蓝有二消圣三藏达摩毗利达摩觉罗皆彼所尊重读法师神采明秀机甲应养敬仰。In the monastery, there were two other Hinayana teachers, Dharmapriya and Dharmakara, who were respected by the people of that country. They saw that Master Xuanzang had magnanimous airs and great intelligence. They honored and respected him greatly. What does it mean to have magnanimous airs? He was big scope, big heart, big generosity. He exuded this, just to pin it down, he was curious. Master Xuanzang wanted to learn. When he showed up, he had this curiosity that was not judgmental. He wasn't looking to prove you were wrong, and that's why he was curious. He was looking for your faults. He was one of those lifelong students. Talk about, what's it called? Evergreen, not evergreen. What's it called? Changqing Daxue. That's, yeah, so it's Pine Tree University, right? So evergreen, never gets old. The ability, Master Xuanzang, just like our teacher, just like Shifu, Xuanhua Shangren, Shifu was just curious about everything he met. Everything was an opportunity to speak Dharma, and he wanted to learn about it. You could just see, when show Shifu something new, and he would take this thermos bottle and he would examine it and he would go, oh, I know how to improve it. If they did this, it would be even better, you know. Shifu was fascinated by the world around him because he used every bit of sense data to turn into Dharma teaching for living beings. Master Xuanzang was that kind. So he left behind all his diaries. He left behind geography. He left behind diplomacy records. He left behind language records. He left behind translation. Just everything that he met was an opportunity to learn. That's magnanimous heirs. Okay. 时复和西南有瑞摩陀虎视见国，齐王问法师从远国来，皆前贵臣拜请过国，受供养，此不行。时人往来再三，不得已而复，王甚喜，乃称金宝引师施法师，法师皆不受而返。To the southwest of Balika were Yumada and Guzgan. The kings of these countries heard the master had come from a distant land, and both sent noble ministers to invite him to their countries to receive offerings. He declined the invitations, but the envoys came again and again to invite him, so he could not but go. The kings were highly delighted and offered him gold, gems, food, and drink. The master returned without accepting anything. Look at this. This is, wow, what a lesson for our contemporary monks and nuns. When, if you can imagine what it was like in the early Tang Dynasty, the 7th century, they didn't have electronic entertainment. They didn't have YouTube or computers or recorded music or anything that plugged in or required a motor to run. All not, anything new came from humans, from words people spoke, from sounds people made, by singing, by clapping, by building new things. Anything new that was different from the past was introduced by human ingenuity. And so when you have somebody like a Buddhist monk from Chang'an, like, how exciting. Of course you want to see him, you want to hear him, you want to ask him questions, you want to look at him and see the way he drinks tea, you know. And so they wanted Master Xuanzang to come. And what a gracious man a monk. He didn't say no, finally. First he said no, but then they came and he said, they're sincere, they're really sincere. I may not be back here, so I'm going to take this opportunity. And then what do? They want to give him things to show their appreciation. And he has no greed in his mind for things. So he turns down the gold, the gems, the food, and the drink, and graciously says, my vows are ahead of me. I have to keep going. What a hero. 那个时候，这个小国家的国王，他们如果有新的东西，一个机会学习，一个机会来学到佛法或者什么新的消息，他们从来没见过、没听过的东西了，他们一定要的。那个时候，音乐是人唱的、人奏的音乐那个新的所发明的东西都是人手做的，人的功能、人的就是技巧所做的东西才有，没有荧幕，没有就是荧幕之前的一个社会，所以哇，从原地长安这个法师来了就是说翻天覆地的消息，所以一定要请他到。那么再三请他，玄奘大师不拒绝了，他就终于回去看他们。可是他们愿意供养他，愿意跟他结善缘，他就说就接受他们的心意，东西不要了，因为他还是旅行，他还要走，他还要行步，不能带着，所以不接受，跟他们结善缘，结法缘。自赴河南行，与慧性法师相随，入解之国。东南入大雪山，行600余里，出睹霍罗境，入梵言那国。果东西2000余里，在雪山中，土路艰微，背遇灵奇之地，凝云飞雪，增不暂迹。或风雨甚之处，此平土数丈。From Balika going south, the master and Prajnakāra arrived in the country of Gachi together and entered the Hindu Kush in the southeast. After traveling for more than 600 li, they came out of the territory of Tukkara and entered the country of Bamiyan. Bamiyan was 2,000 li from east to west and was situated in the Himalayas. The roads were more dangerous and harder to travel than among the snowy mountains or in the desert. Thick clouds and flying snow never ceased for a moment, and at the worst places, the snow accumulated for scores of feet. Let's do the last one here. 故宋玉称西方之南，增兵飞雪千里。其此也。嗟乎！若不为众生求无上正法者，宁有并父母一体而有此哉？ Song Yu has said, disciple of the poet Chu Yuan, Song Yu has said that the way to the west was so difficult that you had to go through 1,000 li through a land of ice with flying snow. This was where he was talking about. Who would travel in this place at the risk of his life except those who had the intention of acquiring the supreme law for the benefit of all beings? All right, now, who heard Bamiyan and their ears perked up? Bamiyan, Afghanistan. There it is. Okay, you remember this? People remember the Buddha images at Bamiyan that were destroyed by the Taliban with rockets and missiles, the Buddha images were destroyed. This is the very place where Master Xuanzang traveled. This is the place. Those were Buddha images before. And then extremists, people with hate in their hearts, used military weapons to destroy the Buddha images, so they're no longer there. They stood from the time of Master Xuanzang, and they're gone now. 大家认识吗？哈，这些地方呢，在巴米安啊，这个有大的佛像在那里啊。玄奘大师呢，就是以前有佛像这么大，可是呢，有一些心里保持嗔恨的人，用武器来把这个佛像打坏了啊，真的是很可惜的。是这些佛像啊，存在几千年啊，可是就是证明当时佛教兴盛在那里。现在呢，就是这个分土成敌对了啊。所以你看这个，你如果是行步，怎么会过这些山？ Now, if you were walking on foot, crossing over mountains like this, ayo. Yeah, that's what he did. That's our teacher. 大师就这样做了。玄奘大师太妙了啊。Indeed. Okay, so to be continued here. We're going to find out more, tell this story, because Bamiyan has been in the news after the Taliban destroyed those images that had been there forever. We'll find out more. I'd like to know about the current situation of Bamiyan, so we'll investigate next time. Okay, 我们下次就研究多一点现在的状况，那个巴米亚那些大的佛像。There's the story that there's still one image buried under the ground that Master Xuanzang saw. We'll find out about that. It's prone, it's on the ground, it's not in the cave. We'll find out more about that. 大师看到3尊佛像，有2个被打掉，有1个还在卧着、躺着在地下。那个我们现在就下一次研究。Okay, shall we dedicate merit? We have to. 我们还没有回向哈。So let's do that. 现在回向我们哈。May every living being, our minds as one and radiant with light, share the fruits of peace with hearts of goodness, luminous and bright. If people hear and see how hands and hearts can find in giving unity, may their minds awake to great compassion, wisdom, and to joy. May kindness find reward. May all who sorrow leave their grief and pain. May this boundless light dispel the darkness of our endless night. Because our hearts are one, this world of pain turns into paradise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. May all become compassionate and wise. can bow to the Buddhas. Bow in respect to the Venerable Master. That's going to do it for us for today. We'll see you all next week. Amitofo, everybody. Be well. Bye-bye.
Thank you, 师父老师。
Amitofo. Welcome.